my gosh, it's working. It's happening. Hi, it's Diana. Really out of my comfort zone. No idea what I'm doing. I mean, I do have an idea what I'm doing, but I'm not really set up for it. So I'm making part of it up as I go. And I'm about to be a silhouette. So I'm trying to set it up so I'm not, as I said in the description, this isn't how I usually do things, but life happens. And I did want to stay on course with my course, ha ha ha, with my schedule and go ahead and start talking about my next book, which isn't a book, it's a short story by Tobias Wolff. Okay, this is a book, but the short story's in it. This is called In the Garden of the North American Martyrs, again by Tobias Wolff. And the short story that I'm looking at is called Hunters in the Snow. I first experienced the short story many years ago in class, and I thought it was bizarre and funny and bizarre. And I still think it's bizarre in a way that the characters are so different than what I understand as being. Whew, this live thing is hard because I have to gather my thoughts, and my thoughts are all over the place. So that's one of the reasons I went ahead and did this, chose this story, because it's interesting in so many levels, and also because the food is pancakes, and that's going to be fun. But that'll be next week. So I'm going to talk about the short story. So Hunters in the Snow is, and I so badly want to go into the analysis, but I'm not going to do that yet. No, I'm just going to tell the story. In the story, 3 men are going hunting, and they're friends, and they're grown men. They have families. At least 2 of them, we know, have families. Okay, this thing giving me messages on the side is actually because I'm not savvy. Like, what? Try not to. Try. I'm not. Try to stay focused. Already scattered. Staying focused. Woohoo! 3 men, 2 for sure have families, but they're old enough to be married and have children. They're not young. They're not old either, but they're not young. And this is important, and I keep going to it because they do things that to me are, we're going to call it immature. So they meet, 2 of the men are in a truck. 3 men are Kenny, Tub, and Frank. And Kenny and Frank are in the pickup truck, and they're picking up Tub. They're going to go drive out and go hunting. There's actually very little hunting that goes on. They do carry their rifles. There is shooting. There is the hint of a deer, but okay. So there's this, you get the feel for each guy and how they are as people. It's so hard not to say. I'm just going to say it. What we have here is a love triangle. And it's kind of like what that thing is when there are 3 people, and one is always on the outs. 2 are, I don't think this has to be. I think in real life you can be a threesome. Oh my God, I was going to say a threesome. 3 people in a friendship, and it doesn't have to be these 2 against that one and then these 2 again. It doesn't have to do that. But this is like that. It's a love triangle. And so at the beginning, Tub is on the outs. Frank and Kenny have a secret together, that your new love interest that you were telling me about and Tub doesn't know about, and we're going to keep that secret from him. They drive out to a place where they can hunt. They get out of their truck. It's very snowy, or the snow is deep. Tub has trouble doing things like getting over in my head, it's a barbed wire fence, because he's heavy. He's a heavy, hence the name Tub. And the other guys could help him. They could, step on the wire and hold the thing so he could get through, but they don't. Instead, they stand by and watch him struggle, which seems to be part of their entertainment. Let's watch Tub struggle. They follow or are tracking a deer. I'm not going to get this all right. Remember the scattered brain. They track a deer, lose the deer, and kind of it becomes Tub's fault. Like on his path that he took, there's deer droppings, which he totally missed. And, all your fault, Tub. But let's go ask the farmer who owns this property if we can enter his property and try to get that deer. So Kenny goes in, talks to the farmer, gets permission. There's a dog that barks at them. Dog is important. Not should not forget it. They never find the deer. And on the way back to the farmer's house, Kenny says something like, I hate that fence post. And then he shoots it. I hate that tree. And then he shoots it. And then there's the dog. And he says, I hate that dog. And he shoots it. And then he says, and I hate you, Kenny, or something similar to that. And what he's doing with his gun, but before he can do anything, Kenny shoots him. No, Tub shoots Kenny. So Kenny's saying, I hate this, shoot. I hate that, shoot. I hate this, shoot. And I hate you, Tub. I think I got it wrong. Can't go back and look. Tub shoots him. So now we have Kenny shot in the stomach. And yes, when I first read this, my mind went to, oh my God, they killed Kenny. So we're just going to put that out there. They rush into the farmhouse to try to get directions to, or call an ambulance. Farmer says they're never going to make it here. You need to bring him. Give them directions. They put Kenny in the back of the pickup truck with some blankets on him. And they sit in the cab. They is Tub and Frank and drive. Now the heater's not working and the windows are broken. So they're cold in there. But Kenny is in the back, all open air with some blankets. Whenever they stop because they're uncomfortable, they kind of check on Kenny and they'll tell him things like, you gotta work with us here. You gotta help yourself. You kicked off these blankets. You gotta hold on to them. And they tell him to repeat to himself, I'm going to the hospital. I'm going to the hospital. And then they go somewhere and get warmed up. Go again, stop, go into a restaurant to get warm, going in the bathroom under the air dryer, getting warm, leaving Kenny outside. And things start to become close between Tub and Frank. And there's we used to be such good friends. Now you're being mean to me. Oh, I have this secret. Let me tell you about this secret, which is for Frank. It's I'm in love with my babysitter. There's so many levels of creepitude in this story. I don't think it's supposed to not be creepy. I think let's see how far we can push these fellas. Okay, that's kind of analysis, but Frank is in love with his 15-year-old babysitter, and because she's got it going on. Not she's got it going on. She's got it figured out. The 15-year-old girl has the world figured out, and she knows more and has more knowledge in her little finger than most people do. Okay, sure. And Tub confides in Frank that he had been saying it's not his fault, that he was overweight, that he had a gland issue. And he confides, that totally a lie. I'm overweight because I eat all the time. I hide food all over the place. My wife doesn't even know. Oh, and Frank's wife doesn't know yet about the babysitter. So now we have this secret and sharing, and Kenny's outside freezing. They go, and I'm really leaving out a lot. Pancakes. Yes. So at the restaurant, when all this is being confided and shared and they're bonding over their weirdness, Frank orders Tub 4 plates of pancakes, lots of butter, lots of syrup, and tells Tub to just shovel it in. Nope, you can't wipe your mouth. There's no napkin. We're not giving you a napkin. Just eat all this slabs of butter. And so the last scene is Tub just shoveling all these these pancakes. I'm suddenly thinking, how is that going to be appetizing? But I do like pancakes, but okay. And the men kind of seal their friendship. They go outside. Frank said, before they go outside, Frank says, "Do you feel full?" And Tub says, "I've never been more full in my life." And they go outside. And again, the blankets have blown off of Kenny. And they say, "Well, he's not even using them, so we might as well take them." The last bit of comfort is taken away from Kenny. He's still under his breath mumbling, "I'm going to the hospital. I'm going to the hospital." And the two other guys get in the cab of the truck with the blankets, head off. At one point, they do laugh that they left the directions somewhere, but I don't remember when that is. They might have had to go around and back and get them, and that's when they did the pancakes. But as they go off, it is made clear that they're going in the wrong direction. Between Kenny's feet in the heavens is the North Star pointing the way. I don't think that's, let me see if I can get the last line, but pointing the way to the hospital. So if it's between Kenny's feet and Kenny's feet are pointing at the back of the cab, they're going in the wrong direction. Let's say. Right overhead was the Big Dipper, and behind, hanging between Kenny's toes in the direction of the hospital, was the North Star, Pole Star, help to sailors. As the truck twisted through the gentle hills, the star went back and forth between Kenny's boots, staying always in sight. "I'm going to the hospital," Kenny said, but he was wrong. They had taken a different turn a long way back. That's the end of Hunters in the Snow. And I just have this vision in my head of Frank and Tub, just when they just finally decide they're not near the hospital, kind of like chucking each other on the shoulder and laugh. "Oh, look what we did. We went the wrong direction." It's funny. We got to tell Kenny. So I'm going to say this is not my favorite forum. I like having more preparation. Not more preparation, more vision of what I'm going to have to put myself in this uncomfortable position again, which has nothing to do with the story, which does make me uncomfortable though. The babysitter, the overeating of the pancakes, the shooting of the dog. I got to come back to that. All of that, the way the men treat each other, it just makes me uncomfortable. So, well, maybe this is a good forum. So back to the dog, and then that will be it. What also comes out is that the farmer had asked Kenny to shoot his dog because the dog was old and sick and he couldn't eat anymore. And, and the farmer just didn't have the heart to put the dog out of his misery. So it wasn't that Kenny just was going nutso, shooting a post, then a tree, then a dog, then a Tub. He had a plan to scare Tub, and permission from the farmer to kill the dog. So that doesn't make it less creepy. It's still creepy. So there we go. My first live, interested, and also uncomfortable. And I will come back with pancakes next week, probably pre-recorded, but who knows? Bye.